It's time to down tools for a bit. Welcome to the Toolshed, the influential podcast for anyone and everyone involved in the building industry. Here's your host, Mick Hawes.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the Toolshed podcast. As I say just about in every introduction, the purpose of this podcast is to help you to be aware of philosophies, tools, platforms, services, ideas that help you build a better, more profitable, more enjoyable, more resilient, long-lasting building business. And in this episode, I'm talking to Ahmed Yusuf again. He's a repeat offender. Ahmed is he's with Wunderbuild, and we've talked about Wunderbuild before. And in fact, welcome, Ahmed. You're probably well aware that there's a bunch of Builders Business Black Belt members that have formed their own little group inside of Black Belt, and they get together on a fairly regular basis and share ideas about how to best use Wunderbuild. And I'm sure you've been made aware of that. You might have been in some conversations with them. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for the invitation again, Meek. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you and a pleasure to be on your podcast and share a lovely conversation.
And before we got started, you mentioned that you're going to take a bit of a break. Is that because you want to or you need to? And where are you going to head? Where are you going to go for your break?
Well, I actually haven't had a break for a number of years, Mick, and it's been a long time coming. So I'm headed to Europe.
Nice.
To meet family and friends. Austria is a first point of call. Then to the UK, Oslo in Norway. We'll spend some time in Copenhagen, and eventually find our way back to Australia. So I'll be away about 5 to 6 weeks.
Nice.
I'm going with my lovely wife as well, who also works with me, and so we both felt this is the right time, and hoping to be back here so that we can enjoy Christmas back in Australia. Yeah.
Beautiful job. Now, you did mention to me that you're going to escape the winter here. Is it going to be warmer in Oslo and places, Norway and places like that? I just assume that they're cold all the time, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, Mick, you've just outed me there now, huh? I had just whispered that to you. People would say now this Australian is running away from the Australian winters. Actually, it is summer in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
And what I've been warned, in fact, is in Austria. I'm staying with my youngest sister, actually, and she stays in an old apartment building, which has no air conditioning. So a lot of the buildings that were built many years ago, particularly in some of the inner districts in Vienna, don't have air conditioning. So summers are very hot, and inside it's like a furnace, you know.
Really?
So in a way, I think I'll be spending most of my time outside the apartment.
To get away from the heat. Okay, well, that's good. Now, we're here to talk about a very serious subject, and that's builders software that help builders plan better, communicate better with their clients. I'm sure that there are people that didn't hear the first conversation that we had, but I'd like to just go back, give us a brief overview of Wunderbuild, how it started, and potentially why it stands out. And then I want to have a conversation about any of the changes and improvements that have been made since last time. So what's the backstory of Wunderbuild?
Well, actually, first I should point out that in many ways we've tried to keep ourselves, our sort of background and who we are and all that sort of in the background, and try to put a lot more focus on the product, on the interactions with clients, and really putting the spotlight on the clients and what they need. But that said, obviously, there are few of us that clients interact with. Actually, not myself. There are maybe 2 or 3 individuals who have a lot more interactions with clients and a few more over the phone, on the chats and support. But essentially, our history is we had this idea way back, and at the time we were purely focused on our building school, which is a college that delivers training to Australians in a variety of certificates in building and construction and also building surveying. And we thought of building a tool that would be used as a teaching aid in our classrooms, particularly in estimations, scheduling, and so on. So the initial product that we came up with was quite rudimentary, merely to test it out and see what the feedback would be from the students, and it turned out quite well. Um, Outside that, we've also had a long history in software development as well. So not just in education in building and construction, but we've had over 10 years, probably closer to 12 years of developing different products, many of which we eventually sold off and exited. So we thought we can bring our expertise in construction and software and business management together to put a product that we can put out to the market. So in fact, in the initial stages of Wunderbuild's history, we put out a product which was free and we just let people use, sign up and give us their feedback. And of course, the initial feedback was quite harsh. It doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. Purely because, Mick, anyone who signed up, wanted a completed, finished product. So the fact that we told them this is a trial, we are testing it out. Some of them felt, no, I'm not sure whether we can trust you. We don't know you guys. Your product isn't mature enough. But that was the embryonic stages. We persisted. This is now about 3 or 4 years ago. We persisted. Eventually, we had built something that was much more presentable. A lot of workshops then were held internally, but also externally. We had a few builders that really stood out and collaborated with us. They are now amongst our first subscribers who started with us, and they are still with us up to now. So we are hugely indebted to them in terms of the product evolution. So in terms of comparison to some of the more established products in the market, we would be deemed to be the new kids on the block. Um, um, but in reality, I think we have matured in a very, very short space of time. And there are reasons why, which I'll tell you why we've matured so quickly. We're no longer toddlers or teenagers. We are definitely mature adults. We've been boxing above our weight, but I think we've now reached our weight purely because of all the collaborative efforts that have occurred. So that's our history, and that's where we are now. From where we met last year, Mick, if I'm not wrong, it was around August, September last year. Um, the product has matured even more, even more. And when I look at the program of works between now and sort of end of this year, there's a whole lot of things still coming up. So sometimes we're a little bit hard on ourselves. We take on a little bit too much. We prefer the word yes than no, which gets us into trouble because we get overworked. And also you set up this huge expectation in the market, Mick, where people now feel that, hey, you guys, we've seen you produce something in a week's time. We want the same turnaround time. But now when we tell them, actually, when we produced whatever we produced in a week's time, we didn't have a backlog. But now, if we showed you the backlog, you'd be scared. In fact, you would even allow us a whole year to develop what we are planning to do. Yeah. So we've really matured, and I'm actually pleased because the Australian market has really taken us to heart, and we've really embraced them in a way that Mick, when we think from how we started, we kind of feel a bit disillusioned, to be honest. And the disillusionment is in the fact that in all those years, perhaps decades, the Australian building market, and I should add even the New Zealand building market, had been starved of not just a good quality product, but at the same time, an environment in which they feel that they actually belong, that they actually participate in the evolution of the product. We don't understand why. So all we're doing today is a no-brainer. It's something that many others should have done, and we are hoping that many others may do in the distant future. So we have to keep our game as well.
Yeah. Nothing like a bit of competition to keep you sharp. And I want to dive into that philosophy and understand why you do what you do, because that was something that I've heard many times before, that, you know, we listen to our customers, we collaborate, and you know, it sounds nice, but then we've gotten feedback from our members and other people who have used various different products that the support was lousy, the support was awful, and we haven't heard that with you guys. We've heard the exact opposite. That is one of the things that we hear over and over and over. These guys listen. The support is fantastic. So, you know, I'm pumping up your tires here, but you need to get that feedback, because it is true. That is the feedback that we get, that people are very, very pleased, sometimes surprised, which I think isn't a good thing, because, you know, the bar shouldn't be so low that you should be surprised that you get quality support. But can you help me understand why, or what has caused you guys to genuinely commit to the collaboration approach when building the platform? And we'll get to some of the improvements in a minute, some of the specificity about that. But I just really want to understand why you guys are doing it rather than just giving it lip service.
It's a good question, Mick. And that's why the disillusionment comes in, because put it this way, Mick. All of us as human beings, we are a customer of someone else or some other establishment. You know, people go on holidays. You book in a hotel. You've got your business black belt conference coming up. You're expecting a 5-star, service. So in many ways, we expect a high performance from others. And then you ask yourself, why should you be the one to give others a 1-star service or performance, for that matter? You know, it just beggars belief, Mick, you see. So in our sense, we found that yes, the building industry had kind of lagged behind in terms of technology uptake. And yes, there may be reasons for that. But one of the obvious reasons is that there haven't been serious providers coming there to engage with the industry and work with the industry and help elevate the technological standing of the industry. Okay. Now, you could also argue that our doing what we do today just makes perfect business sense. It's just business 101. That when you open your shop and you're selling products, a customer walks in, you don't ignore the customer. You talk to the customer. You listen to the customer. Okay. And I remember an incident, Mick, many years ago. There was a gentleman who opened a little supermarket. It wasn't quite a supermarket, but a hypermarket, so to speak, close to where I live. And he didn't have many products. And my wife walked in there to buy some items, and she thought, oh, this is a new place, let me have a look at it. And the guy didn't have much, and so she walked around and she was about to head out, and the shopkeeper called her back and said, Miss, um, uh, I noticed you're walking away because maybe you didn't see what you're looking for. Could you tell me what you're looking for? Because if I don't have it next time, I'll work hard to make sure I have it. So she rattled on some items, and a few months later, she went back and she thought, let me just try this place and see if he's actually kept his promise. And lo and behold, this gentleman had been doing the same thing with many other potential customers, and he was now stocking products that people had asked for. They had walked in, didn't find it, and were walking out, but this time around, the products were there. And my wife ended up buying items and became a customer for quite a while until we moved out of that particular suburb. That gentleman, it's not a surprise, has gone on to be a phenomenal success. And it all boiled down to listening to your customers and provide them with what they are looking for. Yeah. Now, having said that, Mick, because that's exactly what we ended up doing. Having said that, it doesn't mean that everything that a customer tells you is what you should stock. It could be that a customer gives you an idea of a product that is so unique and so rare that they are the only ones who may be the customer of that particular product. Yeah, and unless it's a premium product where you're charging a huge amount of money, obviously it doesn't make business sense. So even for us, we do get requests from customers of things that may be useful for their business, but not necessarily for other businesses. So there has to be that exercise of validation to determine, is that idea good? Does it hold true with others? Will it be useful and beneficial to other users? And then can we prioritize that?
Yeah.
But that does not remove the fact that the premise of the interaction with the customer is one of listening, and not presuming that we know their business. And I have seen software, Mick, where they build a software with embedded workflows and expect you to change your working process to fit into the software. So you have to change how you've operated and try and reuse that particular software. And one example comes to mind. There's a gentleman who is a user of a third-party product, one of our competitors, and would have loved to come over to us, but you cannot believe this gentleman had invested tens of thousands of dollars to remodel his process to fit in with this particular software. Now his problem was, how do I walk away from all this investment, even though I really want to move here? So it was a bit of a conundrum. So we're now telling all those who are coming to us, you're coming to us with a clean slate. Let's start afresh. Let's look at how you work. Let's listen to you. Let's give you any number of demonstrations. And we understand, Mick, that not every user will come onto the software and instantly connect with it. Definitely not. There are others who will require a lot of time. We've seen actually some who've come from another third-party software, which was built a long time ago. It's a desktop product. Today people are on the cloud. And obviously for this gentleman to shift to us took a long time, a number of demonstrations and training. All that time, we're not charging them. We're helping them understand the product and see the value. And they're like, wow, this will definitely work in my business. That individual that I'm even talking about gave us a 5-star review on Capterra, and pays the highest package because he's building more than 100 homes in a year.
Nice.
So in the end, it makes perfect business sense because people say, you took the pains and time to work with me and make me understand and listen to me, and and in the end, I'm going to reward you by being a loyal customer. So that's that's the genesis, Mick, and that's the reason, business reason behind that.
Yeah, and it's great. Like, and one of the things that you said early in the answer was, this is business 101, and you were talking about listening to your client or delivering what they want. And I think that's something we need to talk about a lot more in the building industry, because there are still too many builders around there that think that the building, the house, the extension, the renovation is their product, and it's not. That's the commodity.
Yeah.
And it's the same as Wunderbuild. The platform is not the product, it's the commodity. The product is the client's experience. And that's what builders need to remember, is that put more effort into talking about and building processes that improve your product, which is your client's experience. And the old saying is, they won't remember what you said, they won't remember what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. And as I said to you, we get lots of comments about being listened to, and it's not just a shallow listen to. Yeah, yep. We'll take that under advisement. They see action and they see changes. So let's talk about that real quick. I want to talk about what are some of the changes that have been implemented since we've spoken last, and then we'll talk about some of the things that are in the backlog that we can look forward to. So what are some of the things that have been added to the platform since we spoke nearly a year ago? Hey, I'm Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt, and I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Toolshed podcast. I've got something super exciting I want to share with you. We've got a place that's got a whole bunch more free resources to help you with your building business. In fact, there's a whole other podcast that gives you specific training that will help you get more free time, more profit, and more enjoyment from your building business. And it's called, funnily enough, the Toolshed. It's free to join, and it's full of other success-focused builders. And I invite you to join us in the Toolshed, where you can ask me questions and get guidance and support from other successful builders. Just click the link in the description to join, and I'll see you in there. I hope you enjoy the rest of this podcast.
Yes. Actually, since last year, September, Mick, there have been some significant changes. And your members now would be, for example, experiencing our two-way financial integration between Wunderbuild and Xero.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I spoke to you last year, the idea was on the table. We were kind of working on it. And it's actually gone through, I would say, a number of iterations to really get it to a point of maturation. So you can imagine now, you've actually connected your Xero account. And by the way, majority of our users use Xero, probably 98%.
Yep.
Even though now we're working on a QuickBooks integration, because we have about a few customers who wedded to that. So now the two-way integration has removed a lot of hassles from customers, where they can, for example, import all their bills, all their invoices, whether they use Dext or HapDoc, and instantly it goes on to Wunderbuild. And you can correspondingly see the same on Xero and on Wunderbuild. You can allocate your cost categories to cost codes within Xero very, very easily. Your supplier invoices now are synced to Xero from Wunderbuild, and you can instantly see your payment status and any update back in Wunderbuild. So you're paying here, and Wunderbuild is showing you instantly all the updates and payments and what is spending, and so on and so forth. So this has been one of the most sought after feature, and even as we speak, there are still ongoing improvements being made to it.
Yep.
So I'll touch on one, because it's linked to what's happening in the next 6 months. So we're now introducing the payroll system, which is linked to our timesheets. We already have the timesheets. So the payroll system, which can work off Xero as well. So this now completes the triumvirate, so to speak. So you can have your teams on your system. They're clocking in work. They're putting in their hours. They're getting paid through the system. It's instantly updating Wunderbuild. You're getting your reports on Wunderbuild. You're getting it from your phone, mobile app phone. So whatever you are, you're building 10 homes, 20 homes. Information, particularly in the financial management side of things, which crucially has been mentioned as one of the critical areas for builders to be on top of and make sure that they are building within budget and at the same time making a profit. So that's one of the big areas. The other one is the whole project schedule alongside the Gantt chart. So we've completely revamped this. It's completely new. And this time round, it's got additional features. Previously you could not factor in weekends. Now you can factor in weekends. You can factor in holidays. You can factor in what they call the Slack, the float. A lot of these inbuilt project management, features, and you can have a single view of a particular project. You can have a global view of all your projects in the one instance. You can dovetail into a single one. You can embed tasks within a particular activity. You can communicate or get an update to whoever you've assigned that particular task. So it's very, very powerful right now. And this particular improvement also came across based on people giving us feedback on the previous feature, the previous version, that is. And even now, there's still more improvements to be made. For example, we will soon embark on bringing in what we call project and value. So you can see what is your estimate to complete your project, and you can forecast that and get a report out of that. So all that is being built on top of on the project management. One other area which we built in that time frame, Mick, is checklists. Now, checklist comes in as part of quality management of your project, and we've embedded that checklist in jobs, in estimations, in the tasks, and even in the leads when you get your leads. The whole idea is it's a moment where you pause and check whether you've actually done what you're hoping to do. So it actually helps you quality assure your construction management process to minimize errors or highlight any issues that need resolving before going towards completing your project. Now, maybe I'll touch on a fourth area, and this is something that I never thought we would be able to build this time round, but it's actually the beginning of something much bigger. And this is where, let's call it the human resource module. We've already built a place where, for builders who have employees rather than just subcontractors, the employees can request for leave, and the leave can be annual leave or sick leave or any other type of leave. Approval is done within the system, and you can see your teams there, who is away, and it's linked to their roster, who is away, who is will be away, and so on and so forth. So this was requested, by the way, by a whole range of builders, and we canvassed the idea and we built it. We didn't even have that idea ourselves. So it's purely market driven. And what is the market is telling us is that this construction management portal can be more than just building a home, can be also about taking care of your employees and their welfare as well, and making sure their availability is linked to the project schedule and so on and so forth. So it almost becomes like a complete 360-degree view of your business. So it becomes more than a construction management platform. It actually becomes a business management platform for builders. And I can sense this is where this may head based on the feedback and the input that we're getting from clients. So these are just examples, but there are a plethora of others because features keep on coming. We may miss 1 week, but the next week there's something that has popped up, like creating purchase orders from your quote request, refundable deposit, where many said, oh, can you set up refundable deposits within progress claims, and now they can absolutely do that. Can we generate detailed costing report as a PDF from the cost section? Absolutely right. And you can highlight all the things that you want, takeoff links to costings. So you can do a takeoffs and you can link it to your costings directly. Previously, they were not linked. So these are just examples of things that we've looked at. I've highlighted also the 2 examples of things that will come up in the next 6 months. Now, what happens, Mick, is our list keeps on changing because we keep on prioritizing. So we may say we'll do this fast, and then decide actually this other one is very important. So, for example, the payroll integration to timesheets is very much on the cards. We're hoping that around maybe September we will have it in the market for people to use. That in itself will increase productivity immensely. We're going to look at defect management at some point. We're going to look at call-up feature. So there's a whole range of others that are in the pipeline, and I may not be doing a good service to the entire list because it's almost like a laundry list of features, that are coming up. So the production line, Mick, is quite busy, is quite heavy. On top of that, we do get little. I wouldn't call like a complete feature update, so to speak, but these are things that someone says, can you make this change? This will help improve how we do things, or can it allow us to print this in this size or print it in a PDF format, because it doesn't do that right now. So I can assure you, in a given week, we probably receive somewhere in the order of 100 plus what I call your small requests of things that this will help me, and we quickly evaluate. Yep, that can be done. So on top of the big features, we are also making all those improvements. No wonder your members are telling you that some of them may have requested for something in the recent past, and they have already benefited from that particular improvement because we feel that one particular individual saying, I need this, and we felt, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. And we look at things from a positive point of view, we get it done. If we can do it, we get it done because it benefits everyone else. And instantly, to the person who actually contributed the idea, it's a positive affirmation to them that, hey, yes, they're being listened to, but importantly, that the product is working for their business. And I think that's fundamental, absolutely fundamental. Now, I should also point out, talking about features, one client of ours recently told us and said, guys, why don't you just look at all the products in the market, not just Australia, but in the US as well, collect all the good things about those products, and just get back into the kitchen and just add them all into Wunderbuild. Just create this mega product, and we listened and laughed and said, that's very it's obviously something anyone would want to do, because you want to imitate and copy what others have actually done. But I said that's not the route we've actually embarked on. No. We would rather be slower, but we are working in tandem with our users.
Yeah.
It is we're building what our users are asking us, not what is seemingly good about a particular product. And what we don't want to be seen is a patchwork of different products put together, because then we don't have an identity. Yet our identity is that very close alignment with the people using the product. So that's the kind of things that we've done and what we are looking to do by the end of the year. I believe the list will change, particularly if we look at the entire financial year, um, uh, because the end result, Mick, is probably, I'd say, two things. One is a product that really fits the market. And what I mean by that is a product that users say, this covers my business. I don't need to go and incur extra expenditure in taking up another product to do this, and another product to do this. I'm saving money, I'm saving time. My productivity and the productivity of my team is going up. We're building great homes because our business is not to just sit by Wunderbuild. Rather, is how will Wunderbuild help us and free us to build great homes profitably. Um, and so when people tell us that, we know we are getting there. Now, we're already getting hints of this, but we are still nowhere near. And the other point, Mick, is when the product becomes truly an end to end product. We're not there. Absolutely. The journey is still long when we become a truly end to end product. And which is why I think even in my last podcast, Mick, we said that. We are not going to be lured by the the American dollars or British pounds to rush into those countries and push Wunderbuild, despite the fact that we've already had invitations to do that. We've repeatedly said, and we tell our clients, we are here in Australia and New Zealand, and we will stay here until we achieve that product market fit. We want our users to tell us, guys, I think this product is ready. Off you go to the US, and we'll be like, okay, see you, mate. But not before, not
Yeah,
before.
very
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
I love it. So, thanks for sharing all of that. Thanks for putting the time aside to being on the podcast. I'm assuming nothing has changed as far as the method of taking this thing for a test drive and reaching out and speaking to somebody. It's just go to the Wunderbuild website, which will be in the description, and have a chat to somebody there at Wunderbuild that will answer all of your questions and give you as many demonstrations as you need to see whether this is going to be a good fit for your business. That nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed, Mick. It's the same website. They go to wunderbuild.com.
Yep.
They can actually ask for a demonstration. They can choose their time whenever they want. They can choose to speak to a human being. They can choose to send a chat and we'll be able to respond. They can request a call back, anything that they want.
Yep.
We are there. We always assure anyone that we'll get back to you on the same day,
Nice.
unless you contact us past the working hours. We are sleeping. Then we'll promise you we'll contact you the next day.
Yeah,
But I
fair enough.
I should also point out, Mick, that we have appreciated working with your members, the business black belt members, and each one of them, we are indebted to them. In fact, we have been growing our business by referral. I think I did mention last time, and that has increased even more. We love that. We don't have to spend money on marketing, even though we do that as a matter of course. But the reality is that your members, recommend others, and we grow by that. And we are extremely thankful to them. And one thing we promise them, and if they are going to listen to this podcast, we are promising them that this product will continue to evolve with them to a level where it elevates their business to success, meaning their success is our success.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to engage the reverse gear on that.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for being on the show. As I said, absolute pleasure talking with you. It's very exciting, and I just love the way that Wunderbuild genuinely do listen to their clients. It's absolutely marvellous, and it's a terrific product. Jump onto wunderbuild.com. The link will be in the description. Reach out, take it for a test drive if you haven't already. We will be back with another episode of the Toolshed podcast before you know it. Hope this got you thinking. I hope you start to take action. But for this podcast, I'm Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt. That is all. I'm out. Bye for now.
You've been listening to the Toolshed. If this podcast struck a chord with you, make sure you spread the word by sharing it with your mates in the building industry. We love your help to make the building industry better for everyone involved.